Hey Jeff, how did your team respond today in practice after that tough loss?
Just like I expected them to. It was one of our very best practices. And, I've said it before, you find out about your team when you go on the road with them for the first time. And you really find out about your team when you lose with them for the first time. And, they handled it just like I expected them to. We're no different. We're the same team, 4 games in a row. We work hard. We practice hard. We play hard. And we make mistakes. And so it doesn't change how I love our kids or how they love each other. And we went back to work today.
How did Frank practice today? How did he look out?
Better than last week. We did it just like last week. Him and Josh practiced last week, and this week it was him and Lowell, and got most of the reps, and he looked better.
Hey, Greg, you're up.
Jeff, on the updated depth chart, we saw Lowell Narcisse listed ahead of Jordan Weeks in the quarterback rankings there. What led to some separation for you to make that distinction this week?
There hadn't been much separation between those two anyway, and we just thought Lowell's performance in the game warranted that.
We also saw on there Demetrius Allen listed as a possibility at left guard. I know he played some tackle a little bit this year and is kind of rotated in there. Against UAB, it looked like he and Dom sort of split snaps at guard. Why did you want to manage that position that way?
We're just still trying to create depth, and Meach is young. He's very athletic, and he just continues to get better. It's nothing that Dom's done wrong. It's just more of a reward for Meach.
And we talked yesterday about Rashad and his leadership, not having him for the first half. Do you expect that Kelechi or whoever picks up those snaps brings that leadership component, or do you just look to other parts of the defense to fill that gap?
Whenever anybody goes down, we all know we all each have to do a little bit more. But Kelechi's extremely intelligent, high character, and he was injured for all of fall camp. So this is literally like his 3rd week back. He was cleared right before the Texas State game, and so he's had about 3 weeks of practice, and he continues to get better every day.
How about Savion Harris? Do you expect him to be back in the fold this week, or what's his status?
We hope so. He's getting better every day as well. We hope he'll make the trip.
I'm curious about the dynamic of in-game play calling. We talked about it in the spring, but I don't think we've revisited it since then. Do you play a role in that within the game, or do the coordinators entirely handle that? How does that dynamic work for you on the sideline?
No, I'm involved in every decision, but ultimately it goes through me. So every decision is made out there. It's a reflection of me. That's from special teams to defense to offense, and obviously I'm going to listen to Coach Perry and Coach Nix and Coach Lonnie the most, but it all runs through me.
So do you typically, hop in to change a play call if you think you see something, or do you offer up, hey, on this series, maybe we look to this, or just how does it work within a game?
All the above. I mean, most information is during the series. In between series, I apologize. I try not to be knee-jerk, and once we talk about it, a lot of this stuff is, done during the week, and it's scripted. And so you go into the game, we've already worked it all week. Unless somebody's changing some stuff on us, which this always happens, and in between conversations and me getting with coordinators, but it's not like I'm calling every defense and every situation of punt, every situation of offense, but in between series, I'm in communication with all 3 coordinators at all times.
Hey, JJ, you're up.
Jeff, along those lines, how have things worked, I guess, from a working with each other standpoint with your coaching staff? I know yesterday you said you're treating these first 4 games like camp. How have things run between the coaching staff?
We've all had to learn each other a little bit. Most of the guys I've worked with before, so there wasn't that learning curve. But 2 of my 3 coordinators I've not worked with before. So Coach Perry and I have had to learn each other, and Coach Nixon and I've had to learn each other. But they're unbelievable men first, and they're really good coaches as well. And all the guys have done nothing but just been wonderful for me. I literally said from the beginning, my heart is to always be an assistant coach. I don't mind. I know where the buck stops, but my heart's always with an assistant. And I want to recruit as hard as they do. I want to coach as hard as they do. And when they go home at night, I want them to know that no one works harder than their head coach does. And I want to serve them, and hopefully that'll be reflective in them trying to serve me.
Yesterday, you mentioned you'd have more information on Josh Atkins' injury. Do you have an update for us on that?
Yeah, we got good news. He is going to have surgery, but it looks like it'll just be 4 to 6 weeks. We're afraid it might be a little bit longer than that. So I know that doesn't sound like good news, but it is good news because he's not done for the year.
Okay, Greg, you want to wrap this up for us?
Yeah, sure, Jeff. The other thing this morning, we learned that Lucas Dean is the Ray National Punter of the Week. What did it mean for you or for your team to see somebody receive that kind of national recognition?
It's always great, for recruiting. Our Navy SEALs unit takes great pride in Lucas. Our snapper Caleb Cantrell takes great pride in Lucas. Our shield, Oscar and Dom take great pride in protecting him. Those guys up front have worked their tails off in covering. And if you remember, that unit was the one that everybody was on after the Texas State game. And now they're one of our most celebrated units. So it's one of those things that doesn't kind of get talked about, but we have improved tremendously each week in each area of our team, but especially on the Navy SEALs.
I haven't heard that before. Navy SEALs, is that a nickname for that group up there?
Yeah, all of our special teams have a military nickname because we're in the military city USA. So we just went with it in honor of our military.